Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, a former assistant commissioner of police calls for officers to be commended. A call for menace to give challengers the axe. Junkanoo in Atlanta, and we talk one-on-one with Miles Monroe Jr. Good evening and welcome to our news. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, following a murder-free July, the first in years, former Assistant Police Commissioner Hewlin Hanna says the Royal Bahamas Police Force, as well as the government, should be commended. With serious crime down across the country, he said instead of criticizing this time, credit must be given to the policing plan of the police commissioner.
It's an indication that the Commissioner of Police and his officers are doing a remarkable job. And I think that this is something that the country needs to step back and take a look at. In 31 days, you did not have a capital offense. And as I heard the Chief Superintendent as he talked about the Commissioner's policies. And this is very good. And I want the members of the public to become engaged and connected into what the Royal Bahamas Police Force is doing.
Just this past week, the Prime Minister said that the government would once again be stepping up its efforts in the crime fight, bringing in more vehicles and hiring more officers. Hanna noted that the criticism that both the police force and the government receive whenever there is a notable increase in murders, he said by people not giving them credit for a murder-free month, it shows that too many things in the country have become political.
Politics, yes, but cynicism, definitely. What we do is we say things like, well, you know, the police is supposed to be doing the job and you're supposed not to have the crime and all that. That is naive, and it shows a level of maturity and understanding of what is happening in communities such as the Bahamas.
He said the country needs to come to a point where people are more focused on nation building rather than tearing each other down.
We cannot allow politics to polarize us to the point where we see something as, well, that's not my brand of politics, or that's not my people, and so I have to be very reserved or conservative in what I say. Man, I want the Bahamas to work for the future, whether it's the PLP, the FNM, or some other organization. Let the Bahamas be what God has called the Bahamas to be, a wonderful nation among the nations of the world.
Crime has become an issue that has plagued the Christie administration. After having campaigned on bringing a solution back in 2012, the country's former murder record of 127 was broken last year when a teen was stabbed to death. But with an entire month having gone past with no murders, National Security Minister Dr. Bernard said he hopes the no murder trend continues.
We all know that it's not going to happen in isolation. For us to repeat July, everyone will have to become involved.
In other news, Progressive Liberal Party MP Leslie Miller is calling on opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis to drop those MPs who have called his leadership into question. Miller, who has publicly supported Dr. Minnis, says there is no way the FNM can rebound if its members are at war. Jasmine Brown tells us more.
Miller says it appears that no matter what he does, Dr. Minnis cannot please certain members of the party.
You cannot, when you got to disassociate yourself from them entirely. That's why I said what I said this morning. If someone doesn't like you, no matter what you do, you try to please them. You know, it's like a woman telling you to drop dead. After a while, you got to just take the pain and drop dead and get lost and go find another woman. That's what I'm trying to do now.
Under Minnis' leadership, there have been 2 conventions where Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner has opposed him. The most recent convention wrapped up last week with its fair share of controversy. In the end, Butler Turner and her running mate dropped out of the leadership race. Since then, there have been offers made to keep her in the party. Miller says the fact that those offers were made public shows that there is no unity in the FNM.
You have a discussion with them, and then they go back and tell the press that they don't want it because you discussed it with them. I mean, what the hell is going on? I mean, how do you win with people like them with a set mind?
Butler Turner was one of 6 MPs who forced an early convention after threatening to write the Governor General, asking that he be removed as leader of the opposition. Miller insists the FNM cannot succeed with those who oppose Minnis.
It bothers me that no matter how conciliatory Dr. Minnis tried to be to many of his colleagues, this rejecting factor is so innate within them that they have this hate for him, that they have this disrespect for him. And it bothers me as a Bahamian and a man who's a decent human being and one who is a regular fella, like the regular Bahamian is, and they are the highfalutin ones that has this air about them, that because he has the respect and the love and affection of the average FNM, as well as a lot of the Bahamian people, they continue to disregard the man.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, Miller is also calling last week's FNM convention a colossal waste of time and money. Miller also accused Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner of being a thorn in Minnis' side.
It was very interesting to see that you spent $300,000 on a convention. The lady called for the convention and then checking out, you know? So that's wasted money. I'm sure FNMs are not pleased with what transpired at the convention.
Butler Turner was one of 6 MPs who forced an early convention after they threatened to write the Governor General and have Minnis removed as leader of the official opposition. Minnis was re-elected leader unopposed after Butler Turner withdrew from the race. But Miller says moving forward, he wishes Minnis the best of luck as he insists the opposition leader will need it heading into the next general election.
I wish Dr. Minnis all the luck in the future. The election is on the horizon, and you know, elections are in God's hand. The people speak when those polls close at 6 o'clock. So I leave it to them. That's when you decide who the leader of our country will be. Obviously, I would wish for the PLP to be the next government, but that's not my call. That's the people of Bahamas' call.
Well, blazing a path of their own, the children of the late Dr. Miles and Ruth Monroe are preparing to engage and allow some of the world's young leaders to take center stage this week during the first Monroe Emerging Leaders Conference. The siblings are putting on 12 hours of inspiration, motivation, and information from 8 speakers whose stories they hope will help to bring about a positive change in the world. 2 days ago, I got the chance to sit down and talk with Miles Jr. For him, this conference is about giving others the opportunity to share their story.
I've always been, and I've always had a business mind and a business sense. So for me, it's about, you know, what gift do you have? What gift have you developed? And what did it take for you to get to the point where you're at now? There are a lot of people that could use the inspiration from your story and from the steps that you took or the mistakes that you made that could assist them in achieving their personal level of success. So the conference creates a platform for that to happen.
The speakers, he said, represent different areas of life. They include therapist Harrison Thompson, Ralph Clear, Richard Pinder Jr., Talia Pinder Roll, Delano Johnson, and motivational speaker Stacey Flowers. The target, he said, is to keep people's minds open and provide an atmosphere where people are able to learn, network, and relax.
I keep hitting the point that it's, you know, I just want folks to tell their stories. But it isn't just any story. You know, I don't want you to just come up there and tell stories about something that you might have experienced. It's your story. And there's no one that can tell your story the way that you could tell it. People could try, but no one knows you the way that you know you, or no one knows what you've been through the way that you've been through it and what it really took for you to get through it. So that's what I think is going to hit home with folks. And the market or the target market for this event is essentially everyone. The
conference takes place this Thursday and Friday at the British Colonial Hilton with 2 morning sessions. But Monroe said this isn't your usual sit-down conference.
I don't want it to be something where, you know, someone stands up on stage and speaks for an hour. You know, I'm not really one to, you know, my attention span isn't really that long unless you're very, very interesting or saying something that really hits home. So, you know, we have 20 to 30-minute sessions each session. We have speaker-to-speaker interviews where the speakers, you know, can play around with what each other spoke about, get to know each other, and then get the audience involved.
One would think that Miles Jr. has some big shoes to fill given the magnitude and impact his father had on the world. But if you were to talk with him one-on-one, he'd tell you this.
I don't think I have big shoes to fill. I think my dad's shoes is already filled. I think he did what he was supposed to do. You know, he's never pressured us, and I've said this a lot because I get this question a lot. But you know, he's never pressured my sister or myself to try and be who he was. It's always, and essentially that's where this came from, ironically enough, because this is who we are. This is who I am. You know, I'm not trying to be him. I'm not trying to do what he's done. I'm actually trying to be better than he was and to do a lot more than he's achieved.
As this is the first Monroe Emerging Leaders Conference, Monroe said he saw it fitting to have it at home, but who knows what the conference will grow into.
I see it doing a lot, you know, and even outside of the Bahamas. You know, we're starting here next year. You know, we may be somewhere else having the event, hosting the event. But it's something that we want to continually do. We would like to have it here as well, continuously have it in the Bahamas. Again, because, you know, my dad was a big advocate for the Bahamas. Everywhere he went, he, you know, spoke about the Bahamas, highlighted the Bahamas, promoted the Bahamas. So we want to continue that trend as well. But we do want it to be a traveling event.
Registration for the event is $200 for individuals and $185 for groups of 5 or more people.